A lot of these companies recruit neighbors. They go, I mean, they'll go to a town and hire 150 people, bring them and train them, and come out with 50 people that they'll put on the rig. So anything you say affects your next door neighbor. So your next door neighbor's on your butt. You know, man, you know, you're getting us in trouble here, this, and this, you know. And it's, you know, these people come on TV and they're so sorry and they're so hurt that their neighbors were killed and burnt, and they knew about the irregularities before, you know, the well blew up, and yet they did nothing. One of the problems we have in the offshore industry is when we have accidents, injuries, or incidences offshore, they don't get reported to upper management. It's and then on top of that, upper management doesn't report it to their insurance company. I mean, obviously, because if a worker's injured, your workman's comp rate goes up. So why report a worker an injured worker? Instead, what they'll do is they'll take the injured worker, take him to a doctor, get him taken care of, and he's let's say he's a driller on an oil rig. Well, they'll just put him in the office filing training records, so he'll have 0 lost days. It's you know, that's a very, very common practice. A lot of times a worker will get injured at the beginning of his hitch, and they'll just say, here, sit in the office at the chair, answer the phone for the next 14 days, and we'll see if your sprained ankle heals up, you know, see how bad a sprain it is, and you know, if it's okay at the end of the 14 days, just go home and don't write a report, you know. Just an enormous amount of incidences, accidents that occur offshore aren't reported. One, because the regulatory agency may decide to come out and investigate. 2, insurance, you know, may go up, and you know, I don't, and these men are pressured into you know, going along with this. In one of the shipyards down in La Rose, a forklift backed over one of the workers where it broke his leg, where they took him to a private doctor, got a cast, you know, took care of, put him on the owner's private jet, flew him back to his hometown in Mexico, gave him $10,000 in cash and told him not to come back, you know. They didn't file an accident report, you know. It's things like that happen, you know, unfortunately. The offshore industry has a training program where they train you how to be safe, but they don't train you how to do your job. Okay? So it's your job is learned offshore from somebody who's been doing it for 30 years offshore, and they refuse to admit that he may have been doing it wrong for 30 years. And I've had that come up many, many times, that, well, I've been doing this for 30 years and I've never gotten hurt. You know, and my answer back to them is, just because you've worked 30 years without incident doesn't mean you've worked 30 years safely. It just means you've been lucky and you haven't gotten hurt. We will continue to have the amount of injuries reported, the amount of fires, the amount of deaths, the amount of blowouts. The numbers don't change. They don't get any better. They're the same. one, with everything you do, remember this: you are in charge of your life. You are in charge of ensuring that your life continues. You are in charge of ensuring that your safety continues. So when you're out there and somebody tells you to do something that you think is not safe, you ask for a stop work, and see and talk about it. And if those people are not willing to stop work, and they give you some, hey, I've been doing this for 30 years, don't worry about it, nothing will happen. So, man, pick up your hard hat and walk off. Whenever somebody's not willing to stop and address your safety concern, yeah, so what? You're young, and you don't know, and you haven't done it before, and you're scared. If they don't stop, leave. There are other companies. It's your life is not worth anything these all companies has to offer. All companies, they set aside a budget on a yearly basis for fighting, lawsuits, for injuries and deaths. And as far as they're concerned, it's like, man, look, you died, go collect Social Security. Have your wife go collect Social Security. And don't take a chance. Leave. You can get another job. And the majority don't. It's it's like, oh man, I got a job, I got to keep it. You don't have to keep a job at the risk of your life. That's insanity. And I tell them, man, just take the road. If you don't want to do that, call the regulatory agency and report them.